Hi, I'm Dave Bering, Technical Director at TriStar, and welcome to another Tech Talk. I'm in the lab again, and today we're going to talk about analytical services. This is one of the advantages that we have here at TriStar, in that we can not only analyze materials that come in from customers to identify it, but we can also do our own internal testing to identify whether our processes are in spec, or in the case of some of our customers, if their processes are in spec. So we're going to take a quick tour of some of the pieces of equipment we have in the lab and talk to you a little bit about how we use them. First thing we're going to talk about is our goniometer. Now, a goniometer is a fancy name for a device to measure surface tension. And what we do with this device is that we look at materials before we treat them for enhancement, and then after. And what we're trying to do here is be sure that we're generating the right surface structure to meet whatever the customer's requirements are, whether that's hydrophobic or hydrophilic. This is the mechanism that we use to test it. And we do that by simply looking at the contact angle of that material. Another important piece of equipment in the lab is a physical properties tester. This particular device is a Tinius-Olson, and we use this to test tensile strength, elongation properties, compressive properties, flex properties. All of that can be done on this particular device, and we can set it up to really do any combination of speeds and tensions and so forth to be able to generate reports for customers, and again, partly to be sure that materials that we're making ourselves are in spec, and secondarily to be sure that the materials that we're getting in here are in fact what they are supposed to be. And that sometimes includes customers' materials. So this is a good device that we can use to quantify and quantify materials as part of our normal process. This is our latest baby in the lab here. It's our new Thermo Fisher Scientific FTIR, which is a infrared spectroscopic device. This is a very, very important machine in this lab because it helps us do a lot of different things. Again, part of the process here at TriStar is through product identification. We want to be able to ensure that when we're doing certain surface modification processes, that the material that we're receiving from our customer is in fact what it should be. You'd be surprised how many times we find that even our customers are getting materials that are not quite to spec. So this machine here has over 19,000 different polymers and elastomers listed on it. And so it gives us the ability to take a look at the footprint, the infrared footprint of a material, and identify exactly what it is, or bring it into a very, very close spectrum of what it might be. This device is also very useful in terms of looking at new materials that we're developing, for instance. We can take a look at some modifications that we might be making in a fluoropolymer and determine whether or not the additions are correct, whether the additives are correct, and also take a look and see what's going on with the PTFE. There's a lot of things that we can learn looking at it through infrared eyes. Now, along with the FTIR, we can also do other types of analytical tests like TGA and DSC. These are devices that are used to look at the materials in terms of thermal properties and degradation properties. So these are some other things that we can do to assist customers and also assist ourselves in understanding what's going on with a particular material. Now, this little machine here is what's called a haze guard. It's an optical evaluation device, and what we're looking for here is some of the standard optical qualities of plastics. Haze transmission, clarity, things like this. And so this device here, in terms of both the base polymers and then also in the cases of materials that we have treated and put on special optical coatings, this particular device helps us identify and be sure that we're in spec in terms of those light transmission and clarity issues. It's a clever little tool and comes in handy when you're looking again for the best optical properties of a polymer. We have here in the corner the Beast. This is our Instron. It's basically the same device as our Tinius-Olson. This particular unit is one that we use to do some special qualification of things like films. We're doing pull testing. When we do adhesive development, for instance, and we want to check for the pull strength of an adhesive with different substrates, the Instron is the machine that we use to do all that qualification work on. It's a workhorse. We've had it for a long time, and it certainly comes in handy when we're doing these special tests. The one thing we do here in the lab is a lot of development work with chemistries and adhesives and substrate qualifications and so forth. So this is a very handy tool when it comes to identifying whether a material is or isn't meeting standards. Some of the other devices we have in the lab for both analytical work and also for development work are things like ovens, where we will take materials to certain temperatures and do evaluations on them. We have some small presses. We have a lot of scales to measure things like specific gravity and gram weights. Cupboards full of chemicals. Again, part of the work that we do here in the lab is new product development, and so there's a lot of things that we do here in terms of labware and combining materials. So unique little application for a plastics company like ourselves is, to have a lab of this nature and be able to not only use it for our own evaluation of products, but for you as a customer, if you've got some questions about a material, if you want to verify that a material is what it's supposed to be, TriStar offers services of doing these tests, and if you have any questions about some of the other tests that we can provide, you can contact any of our customer service people or contact me through the Ask the Expert, and we'll certainly be happy to answer any questions you might have. That's about it for the analytical side of our business, but it is something unique and certainly one of the TriStar advantages, so we hope you utilize it in the future, and we look forward to seeing you again.